Shalom. Okay. There's nobody who's not aware at this point of course, the extent of what's going on. And it's worth it. So it's worth it ever to get onto the internet and see a video. It's kedai to see the streams and streams and streams of missiles that are being shot. They're not shooting at army bases. This is not a war where they're shooting at soldiers. They're shooting, and who are the soldiers? Kids anyway. But they're shooting at civilians. They're shooting at the kolelim, they're shooting at the mothers, the fathers, the babies, they don't care. The more casualties there are on their side, the happier they are. They can show the world. It's not the first time. When you're by Kriyat Yam Suf, literally with our backs against the wall, and Mitzrayim rodfim acharenu, and Mitzrayim were coming out after us. And Moshe Rabbeinu turns minhag avotenu, and he begins to pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Hashem says, Ma titzak elai. What are you praying now? Daber b'nei Yisrael v'Yisau. One of the most puzzling responses. What does it mean, Ma titzak elai? Why pray now? Of all the times, what else am I supposed to do? Of course I'm praying now. Rashi says two pshatim. One of them is unbelievable. Kadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, you don't need to pray. You think I'm going to abandon my children? Al banai ve'al po'al yadai yitzuvani. You're going to command me to save my children? Of course I'm going to save my children. So we know that b'siyat yishmaya, bezrat Hashem, it will always end up well. That's not a question. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be there for us always. And we're going to emerge on top, b'siyat yishmaya. But what can we do? So we read it today in the Tefillah, besides Dele Bareche Vele Basusim, we also say in the Halukot after Ashrem, Lo bigvurat asus echvat, lo b'shavaish yitzeh. What does that mean? HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not need well-trained armies and horses. He's not interested in valiant soldiers. What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Rotzeh Hashem et Yire'av. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants those who have Yirat Shamayim, those who pursue HaKadosh Baruch Hu, those who have bitachon HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We need to strengthen ourselves, each person in their own way. You will never hear from me a specific thing that this is all coming from. But each person has to do cheshbon hanefesh. Each person on their own. What can we do to contribute? And we know everything is midah keneged midah. When I see these streams in the middle of the night of missiles, hundreds of missiles, we know that the power of Klal Yisrael is always in the mouth. Bilam Rasha, when he wanted to curse us, he said, "En kocham shel elu ela bapeh." What is the strength of the Jewish people? The mouth. We have so many mitzvot, tefillah, Torah. There's so many things that come from the mouth. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu created and fashioned Adam, vayipach be'apav nishmat chayim v'hi Adam nefesh chaya. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave within us the breath of life, whatever life is, whatever the soul neshama is. But vayipach be'apav, what is unkelus right? What is the ruach of chayim? Ruach memalela. The ability to be coherent and cognizant and speak. Speech is a defining characteristic of human beings that separates us from the animals. The koach of Israel is even more so. To be able to use our mouth, our speech, for positive. If they're going to throw us missiles of destruction, so we have to use our mouths in a way that is avoiding missiles of destruction. To get rid of the bitul of tefillah and the Beit Knesset, use our mouths in a way which is only appropriate. Chas v'shalom, to speak nivul pem, to speak in a way, as the Chazal talk about, to speak in a way which is not clean, chas shalom, which is totally not in the way of Derech Yisrael anyway. But it's so destructive to use our mouth only for clean things. We're going into the Chag Bezrat Hashem of Shavuot. What is the primer for Shavuot? Vayichan Yisrael neged ahal. And Rashi comments, why does the Torah say that the Jewish people, we camped in singular language? It should have been Vayachanu Sham Yisrael neged ahal. As a group, we all camped there. And Rashi says the famous words, Ki ish echad b'lev echad. When the Jewish people were as one, we were united, there was no Lashon Hara, there was no backstabbing. But rather we had each other's backs. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, now is the time for Matan Torah. It's not the other way around. It's not that we got to Har Sinai, so therefore Hashem gave us the Torah. It's the opposite. We got to Har Sinai, and for a moment, there was Shalom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, this is the time for Torah. This is the time for Matan Torah. So when we're going to sit by the meals of Shavuot, if a person wants to be able to do something very, very significant on our end of the ocean to help Achenu Bnei Yisrael Be'eretz HaKadosham, take upon yourselves one meal, and even within one meal, a half hour. We're going to be very, very careful. We're going to make an announcement, b'simcha, not as a lachat, not as a pressure for everybody, but b'simcha. We are going to abstain from all forms of prohibited speech. Not one word of Lashon Hara during this half hour. Doesn't mean the rest of the time you can speak Lashon Hara, but we are going to mitchazkim in how we speak. But it's more than just Lashon Hara. We know what Avichai said, when a person speaks Lashon Hara, he's taking all the koach of your mouth, the tefillah and the Torah, and you're putting it into a rusty pipe. You can buy the most expensive water, but if you run it through a rusty pipe, who's going to drink it? A person can have Torah and tefillah, but if your mouth is used for all the diburim asurim, then the Torah and the tefillah are rendered useless, unfortunately. If we want the koach of Torah and tefillah, we need to avoid Lashon Hara, nivur peh, speak nice things. But the Gemara says, Masech Ketubot, an unbelievable thing, also be'inyanim of the mouth. If a person can't bring himself to say a nice word to somebody, the Gemara tells us, Tov hamalbin shinav lechavero, yoter mimashkei yochelav, Ketubot kuf yud amud bet. A person who whitens his teeth for his friend, it's better than if you gave him milk. In the old days, milk was considered a luxuriant drink. It was a very, very big kavod to give somebody a cup of milk. But you don't so rich that he can't benefit from a smile. And there's nobody who's so poor that he can't afford to give a smile. Give somebody else a smile. En kocham shel elu ele bapeh. Our koach is not from the Iron Dome. One computer mishap, and they're going to keep throwing these missiles. You think you can catch everything? The koach is coming only from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Only from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if we're going to use this as an opportunity to strengthen ourselves, Bezrat Hashem, we will be zochem. It's a troubling time, but Bezrat Hashem, we know it's going to end. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't need to be told to save us. He's going to do it. We're His banim and His banot. So Bezrat Hashem, we should take the cues. We should stand up and watch our mouths in all different ways. Give a compliment, give a smile, and certainly avoid diburim asurim. En kocham shel elu ele bapeh Bezrat Hashem. We should go into the Yom Tov, and we should be, in fact, ish echad, belev echad. Mashiach can come. Keheref ayin, Yeshua Hashem keheref ayin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's salvation comes in the blink of an eye. Let's just do our part. Bezrat Hashem. Rabbi Hananiah ben Akashon.